Hey everyone, my name's Drew, and we're here, and this is going to be week number 7, I believe, of the UBL Season 6, and we're up against Kelly under the radar and his Maryland Torterrapins. Kelly's been a good friend. We've known each other for forever. We stayed together at the last Worlds in DC, and it was just a really fun time, but we have to battle now, and it's incredibly stressful, but let's get into it. I'm so incredibly nervous to see team preview. We see the Pikachu, Suicune, Scizor, Aromatisse, Latios, and the Rotom. Okay. So right off the bat, he really has a hard time against TURTONATOR, I think. But no Nidoqueen. Wow, no Nidoqueen is nuts. No Nidoqueen really blows me away. I think this doesn't change anything, and my go-to play should be this thing. No Rhydon's really interesting. No Decidueye, no Nidoqueen is very interesting to me. But I feel like I always kind of make this play here. And we can kind of go from there. Right? I still think, only because I know that I'm very confident that he's going to want to lead off. He could potentially lead off with a Pikachu, but I'm pretty confident he'd want to lead off with a Scizor. He's just very prone to making those plays. Maybe he just wants to prevent me from freely Volt Switching in and out. But I feel like the Nidoqueen just does that as well. This is very interesting to me. I don't quite know what to make of it, but we're here. We're going to see what this Pikachu is going to do to me. I built a very strange team. I hope it can work out. I hope we can kind of manage to do certain things, but it's going to always be really tough. It's going to always be really tough. We do see the Rotom here. So very potentially could go into the Pikachu. Or we could just match Rotoms here. Rotom would leave me pretty soft to the Scizor, if I let him do anything to this Rotom. I really just want to try to hit a Hydro Pump as well. I'm going to try to go off of Instinct here and just go for it here. The Pikachu could very easily come in, does withdraw. Yeah, I couldn't imagine him wanting to stay in here. Goes into the Latios. But that'll be fine. I think my forever switch into this... Was that a crit? No, that just does a decent amount of damage. It's about 20%. Actually, I should find out to see how offensive this thing is. Rotom against just a regular Latios. I would imagine that's pretty offensive. Yeah, that's in line. That's perfectly in line with just an offensive one. I'm already nervous. I'm kind of fumbling over my words here, but we're fine. But this is going to be my forever switch into this thing. We can wear this thing down, and we can try to make some things happen. Let's go for the Psy Shock. That was completely expected here. But I think I just click Foul Play every time, right? I don't think there's anything else that I would want to do. I could just teleport. Well, no. I think when I tried to kind of think through these plays, I think I did think about keeping this thing healthy, and because even whatever he wants to switch in here, I should be reasonably fine. And now I think it's a lot easier for me to teleport here. Because I don't think I'm ever going to really mind that much being toxic. Do I have any other target that I would want toxic? Potentially I could potentially bring in my Pinsir here and go for a Stealth Rock, although I feel like there's no need to not teleport into it. Does go for the Toxic, so I really could have gone into the Pinsir here. But I can also now just break the mold with Pinsir, and this thing should be threatened out every time, and I should be able to reasonably... It doesn't have any Earthquake resist. Doesn't have any real Earthquake resist. But I do kind of want to play the long game a little bit, which is going to involve me getting up rocks. We do break the mold, which is great, and we can set up rocks. And now, once the rocks are up, now this is going to set up... I really couldn't imagine this Latios wanting to run Defog, and I also think that this Rotom doesn't want to run Defog as well. So we're going to get out of here. And this is truthfully not an interaction that I kind of expected here. I kind of will try to go into my Victini. I feel like my Victini has so much less of a role. It does kind of have to deal with the Scizor a little bit. But at the same time, I don't imagine... It's a lot less stressful than when this Victini kind of had to deal with the... kind of had to deal with both the Scizor and the other thing. But having Rock Stop's a huge help here. Does withdraw the Aromatisse, so he wanted to... Yeah, exactly. It's kind of what I expected. And now this thing is going to get worn down. Now that this thing is toxic, it's going to be absolutely huge in terms... We missed. Okay, we missed. Okay. Alright, we missed. Okay. There's no real harm in toxicing again, I don't think. I think whatever he would want to switch into really doesn't... He could go into the Scizor. I couldn't imagine that being... Yeah, that's fine. It is unfortunate because it is going to put my Victini in so much more of on a timer than I would have liked. But it's going to be what it's going to be. And yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a crit because that... I feel like I ran some of these numbers in the pregame, but it's going to be what it's going to be, right? We just have to U-turn. We can go out into the Rotom, and the Rotom puts on a lot of pressure. Pikachu's an obvious concern, but if anything, we can honestly try to click Will-O-Wisp, if nothing else. But yeah, that crit's just super unfortunate, no matter how you call it. Here, okay. Is there any other play that I would want to make? Zarude makes a lot of sense to me. Zarude honestly makes a lot of sense to me, but risking a Scald Burn is so precarious right now. And it's not something that I ever really want to do in this position. There's going to be the Scald. I would really like to not be burned. Don't get burned. It's very dope. Weird poggers. I think I think I either pull a double or a Willow. If I were to double... then I might just go into Zarude. I think I'd make the play into Zarude. Or do I? I could also go into Turtonator here. Oh, this is tough. I really do think he goes into the Pikachu. He has no reason to Scald, so maybe I can just do this and try to make some other momentum happen here. And this is either a slower Suicune or goes for a Mirror Coat. Wow. I like that a lot. I actually do like that a lot. But we can U-turn again. And this thing is going to get a little bit worn down. But not as much as I would like, obviously. He doesn't know my set. He doesn't know that I'm special yet. Well, he might know just based on the fact that U-turn didn't do as much as it should have, I suppose. But yeah, this is a remarkably free pincer play. This is a very, very free pincer play. And I think he's going to be surprised to see that it's banded, but we're going to just have to see here. I think Aromatisse always takes two if I'm Jolly, and I really desperately want it to be Adamant, but the Nidoqueen potentially creeping certain things made that very, very difficult for me. I think I could honestly knock off as well. He has no resistances to Earthquake. The knockoff deals with Aromatisse slightly better. And I think I just click Earthquake for the potential damage. Potentially scaring... At least putting pressure onto the Aromatisse. And yeah, there are the rocks. And there's the Earthquake. That is very, very defensive, but I don't think it's going to be able to do anything that really threatens me super hard. So for now, I can try to put pressure onto this thing and kind of move on from there. If this thing goes for a Wish, then I can play off the Protect next turn, and I can start to put on more pressure as I go on here. I think if anything, I take the turn to go out here, potentially? Maybe. Yeah, I feel like there's no use in just earthquaking constantly into this Aromatisse, so I have to make some type of things happen here. But we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna see where this leads us. Yeah, there's the protect. And now I can get a Toxic off on something. He can go into the Suicune, but Suicune is very much getting worn down over time. And the bigger point is, so is this Aromatisse. This Aromatisse is really getting worn down. And I'm going to assume for right now that this Aromatisse is Babiri Berry because of no leftover so far. And just the fact that Celesteela is super scary. We can get the Toxic off. This Aromatisse is very much on a timer. I don't quite know what he'd want to go for now. Maybe another Wish. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think that's fine. I can't taunt this thing. In team prep, I kind of thought about taunting this, but I wasn't 100% considering Aroma Veil and those types of things. He could just Moonblast, expecting me to want to pivot out again into something like the Pinsir potentially. But because this Aromatisse isn't leftovers, I don't really think I have to make that prediction with my Pinsir. Going for knockoff, trying to knock off an item here. Because it doesn't look like it's gaining HP every turn. Okay, so here I think he goes for a Wish. And I can try to take advantage of that. I think he expects me to U-turn again and try to build momentum, but either way, yeah, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage to be doing. Goes for a Moonblast. I would imagine we take it, but if we don't, then I blame the crit. For sure. Okay. We do lose some special attack, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Having Aromatisse down is absolutely mind-blowingly huge for me. I'm going to Blue Flare again. Because, well, actually, that puts me in range of Bullet Punch, which is very not good. But does this Victini have any more usefulness? I don't think it does, because now I'm in Bullet Punch range, right? So I just click Blue Flare and pick up a KO. And then he has to respond. It withdraws. That's interesting. It goes into Rotom. But I can get a Toxic off on this as well, right? At this point, Victini struggles to kind of do anything after the Suicune crit. Like, if Suicune didn't crit, then I'd honestly be more keen to preserve this thing. But for right now, I don't think I mind this play at all. And once this thing is toxic, it makes it so that Turtonator just walls it outright. And I think if he goes for Volt Switch, then I kind of get a little bit of momentum there. Yeah, I think ultimately this is the best possible scenario I could find myself in. For the moment. There's still a lot of scary things, right? I still don't have a perfectly good answer to the Latios. But it seems getting worn down a lot. Like, a lot faster than I think I even expected. I think the Pikachu can't really come in here. I think Latios honestly makes sense to come in here. But yeah, okay. The Latios does come in. But this will... And I think I saw that this Latios is not Life Orbed. And in a little bit of prep, I did see that my Pinsir actually took a Life Orbed Latios crit Psyshock. And obviously, I can smack this thing back with a really strong hit. I think I do knock off here, only because it is weakened as much as it is. I'm going to check on that really quickly. I know I'm not doing the best on time, but yeah, because I'm banded, this should always be a KO. This should always just kind of knock off an item with a really strong hit. Saxy Aromatisse, that's totally fine. Yeah, either way, it's going to be Pinsir's KO because of the rocks, because it did set up the rocks. Okay, if I had to guess, Suicune comes out, because I think he needs a Suicune. Scissor comes out. Okay, very interesting. Could U-turn? I would expect U-turn. Do I play off of that at all? I think removing its band is strong here. But it does leave me a little bit softer to the Latios in a way that I don't like. So I think I make this play, even though it is pretty obvious here. Zarude never really makes sense. Zarude makes some sense. Zarude makes some sense. But yeah, I think I just play off of a reasonably obvious U-turn. If he knocks me off, then he knocks me off. It's not going to be the end of the world. The fact that he doesn't have Decidueye makes me a lot safer with this Turtonator. Yeah, just go for the knockoff. It's going to be totally fine. It's going to be totally fine. That's going to be my leftovers. This thing is going to be leftover itself. And that's really interesting. But I think I just get a Toxic off. I have to assume that the Latios would want to come in here. This thing definitely would not want to stay in. Suicune's already Toxic, so I'm going to always be able to 1v1 it. Pikachu could come in, wearing down the Pikachu would be dope. But yeah, Suicune coming in is totally fine. Suicune coming in is totally fine. Because this thing should never be able to 1v1 me. But I'm really going to be super curious as to what kind of investment this Suicune has. I'm going to click Flamethrower. And we're going to see. Goes for a Scald. And Scald brings me from 135 to 89. 135 to 89. Uh, 135 to 89 is 46 points of damage. It means that I don't take 2, which means I rest every time. But 46, yeah, it should be no attack investment, which is exactly the kind of Suicune that I expected to see. And we can rest every dang time. We can rest every time. It looks like, yeah, and it looks like anything other than rest, and I would have just gotten KO'd on the next one anyway, so it's gonna be fine. But yeah, now we can sleep talk. We can potentially catch something. We can potentially. No, I think he switches out. I think he probably goes into Latios, right? But I really can't risk that and make this aggressive of a play. I think I might do this, expecting Latios. Yeah, I think I make this play, expecting Latios to want to come in and take advantage of my Turtonator being asleep. Or I make the duck play. No, I think this play always gets me more. I think this play always gets me more. Or does it? Zarude might get me more, honestly. Zarude might get me more. Yeah, I think... Okay. If he stays in and Scalds, that'd be nuts to me, but... If Zarude stays in and Scalds, that'd be nuts to me, but yeah. Latios comes in, just like I thought. But yeah. His play should always be to try to take advantage of my sleeping Turtonator. Zarude can come in. I can get some really free damage here with Darkest Lariat. And we go from there. Right? I think we just go from there. Goes for a Draco straight up. I don't know if we take this. We barely take it. We barely take it. I did not EV for that, by the way. I'm just going to be 100% real about that. I did not EV specifically for that. I EV'd for a lot of different things, but definitely not that. But this Latios being down, it frees up my Porygon a whole heck of a lot. And now it's going to make it really interesting for the rest of my team. Although he really hard risked a Scarfed Zarude. Like, he definitely just ceded ground to a Scarfed Zarude. Goes into the Scizor. It's going to be fine. I think he really is not in a position to make any play but U-turn here. Well, no, he can Bullet Punch. But regardless, this is always going to be my play, right? Because the thing is, Zarude can still get a hit off on the Suicune. Well, no, I don't... Maybe that doesn't track. Maybe that was a mistake that I just made. But yeah, his play is always to U-turn. Could U-turn out into the Suicune, right? What else does he have left? He has the Rotom left. Rotom, Suicune, Pikachu, right? Rotom, Suicune, Pikachu, and Scizor, obviously. Yeah, because the Aromatisse went down and the Latios went. Yeah. This never 1v1s me. I don't 100% understand this, but this never 1v1s me. Maybe he's just trying to wear me down. But I don't think this ever 1v1s me. And I can... Is there any play worth making here? I don't think there is. I just click Sleep Talk, right? There's a Scald. I EV'd this thing to always really take 3 or 2 Scalds and then be able to rest. But this should be fine. If he leaves me on a rest turn, on a turn that I'm able to rest, and that would be at best, I guess, best case scenario. But we will see. No, I'm actually going to be super low if I let this go through. If I let the Scald go through, I think he goes down on the net, or does he? I don't know. No, I think I go for I click rest only because it means that I can rest again a little bit later. I'm at 57 HP. Yeah, I should always take another one. And I can't be crit because of shell armor. So I want him to not go down here. I want him to not go down here. And the reason that I clicked rest... Oh, he didn't go down. Okay. But I don't think anything damages me that much. I don't have an item anymore, so Scizor knockoff. And the Scizor is leftovers. Right, the Scizor goes into Pikachu. Pikachu... What does it normally run? Like, knockoff? I don't care. I just click rest, right? I just click rest, right? I think I have counterplay to the rest of the team. Yeah, I just click rest. Goes for the Volt Tackle. I am really specially defensive, or physically defensive, I meant to say. And yeah, we just rest again. I don't think he can stop my Turtonator anymore. Now that the Rotom is toxic, and the Scizor is a Scizor, with leftovers, I prepared this Turtonator for Bandit Scizor. I prepared this Turtonator for Bandit Scizor, so I think this thing should always be able to 1v1 me, especially without an item anymore, and he forfeits. Okay, so I think the rest of the KOs should go to the Turtonator. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of exactly how I envision this match kind of going here.
But, you know, it is what it is. In TBL, I'm saying this on your video, not mine.
Okay.
So that way, people on your channel will get this first access. In TBL, I'm getting my revenge, just so we're clear. Like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to 6-0 you and Josh.
Oh,
like,
yes.
It is going to be my mission, my duty, and my calling to get my revenge. Mic drop.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back really soon with more weeks of the UBL, as well as more weeks of the TBL, as he just alluded to. But once again, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. And once again, out.